A brand new trailer for the upcoming HBO Watchmen series just dropped at San Diego Comic-Con, and it is filled with a whole lot of exciting stuff for fans of Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons' comic masterpiece. It is set to be released this October, but up until now we haven't really been informed of too many details surrounding the show. While this trailer leaves us asking even more questions, it has answered some of our previous ones, and dropped in a whole lot of little references and Easter eggs that fans of the comics will especially enjoy. If you are unfamiliar with Watchmen, or just watched the Snyder film but haven't read the comic, this video, friends, is for you. We break down all of the Easter eggs and references that will be important to the series plot, or at least what we know of it so far. So let's get to it. Starting us off, the alien monster. Let's start off our list with an Easter egg that appears in the latter half of the trailer that largely informs the story world of this Watchmen adaptation. In a brief shot, we see a woman dressed in a judge's garb pointing. Next to her is a picture attached to a black background. The picture is of an alien creature, one who looks very similar to the alien monster that appeared at the end of the Watchmen series. Ozymandias, one of the members of the Crime Busters team, a hero revealed to be the big bad at the end of the series, concocted a plan to achieve world peace and the energy crisis and prevent a nuclear war between nations. So he created these monsters that ravaged various cities across the globe, bringing nations together over a common extraterrestrial enemy. So why is that important? This proves that the series will live outside of the Watchmen film directed by Zack Snyder, where instead of alien creatures, Ozymandias manipulates the situation so that it appears that Dr. Manhattan was the culprit, and that he was the one who attacked all of these countries. Up next, we've got Hooded Justice. The trailer first begins with a character bursting through the glass of a shop to take on a robber holding up a grocery store set in the 50s. This character is Hooded Justice. He was a member of the Minutemen, the predecessors of the team that came out before the one that our protagonists of Watchmen were a part of, that one being Crime Busters. Hooded Justice was a controversial character. He never revealed his true identity, he was rumored to have been a Nazi that escaped after the war and came to the US, and he was gay, secretly in love with his teammate Captain Metropolis. He also once beat up the comedian after he tried to rape the original Silk Spectre. Hooded Justice was assumed to be a German strongman, but it was never confirmed. He was known for his brutal treatment of criminals and would disappear in 1955. Now, Ozymandias investigated into his disappearance and believed that the comedian may have found him and murdered him. There's also a panel in Watchmen in which Dan and Laurie meet at a restaurant, and it's assumed that the two men who appear in that restaurant could very well have been Hooded Justice and Captain Metropolis thanks to the resemblance. So, back to the trailer. After the title card, we see an ad on top of a taxi. It's for a comedy show that has been made about the Minutemen called American Hero Story. Hence why Hooded Justice didn't have the German accent in that show that appears on that TV screen at the beginning of the trailer. He also appears on a giant bus ad later on in the trailer too. Up next, Beans. While we don't know much about this replacement Walter Kovacs Rorschach character in this new Watchmen series, an individual who wears a silver head mask and presumably will act as a foil to the merciless vigilante whom was killed by Dr. Manhattan over threatening to expose the truth behind Ozymandias' plan. Whew, it's a lot. We do know that, just like Kovacs, he likes eating beans out of a can. This is something that Rorschach did in Watchmen, most famously when he took beans out of the second Night Owl's kitchen, Dan Dryberg's, and Dan then found his vigilante pal eating them uncooked with a spoon when he returned home. It is an iconic moment. Moving on to our next number, Ozymandias is dead. As we mentioned earlier, Ozymandias, aka Adrian Veidt, was revealed to be the real villain at the end of Watchmen, although that was only a reveal made to Rorschach, Night Owl, Silk Spectre, and Dr. Manhattan. The rest of the world never found out. But the story ended on the possibility that one day the general public might learn of the truth, all thanks to Kovac having mailed his journal to a newspaper prior to his death. To everyone else, Veidt is a successful businessman and icon, and according to this newspaper headline that we see in the trailer, he's dead. Jeremy Irons is set to play Veidt and appears in the trailer later on, including in one shot where we can assume he's with a birthday cake, so we're taking a shot in the dark here and speculating fan theory. The story for the show might shadow the original Watchmen, beginning the plot with Veidt's mysterious death and a new group of vigilantes, or vigilante, likely Regina King's character, stepping up to uncover the truth, kinda like what happened to the comedian and Rorschach in the original. Just like the Snyder film, the comedian dies right at the start of Watchmen in the comics. So it is also worth noting that the headline on this newspaper reads "Veidt officially declared dead" and doesn't state what happened or what year it's in. We also can see a headline that reads "KKK vandalism forces Statue of Liberty closure." Moving on to our next number, We Will Whisper No. There's a scene in a police station in which we see a bunch of masked officers who are part of the Tulsa police watching a video of Rorschach lookalikes who are part of a new rebellious group bent on following the ideologies entries of the original Walter Kovacs. It's safe to assume that Kovacs' journal did make it out to the public, and it not only inspired insurgents, but also inspired people to take his words as gospel. The line, I quote, "We will whisper no," is a direct quote of Rorschach's from the very beginning of Watchmen, from his first journal entry that we read in the comic. It's worth noting that the police in the scene are actually law enforcement, watching the return of this gang as they assumed they were gone. It's revealed in voiceover that the cops hide their faces because of a coordinated attack that occurred in the past against police officers from this gang. Regina King's character and her family were victims of said attack. Moving on, we've got the flag. Midway through the trailer, we see a shot of someone riding by on a horse, and attached to his scythe, the traditional weapon of the Grim Reaper, is a very important flag in the foreground of the shot. It's the flag from the ship from the Tales of the Black Freighter, the comic story that is intercut between the original Watchmen comics and is a microcosm of the Adrian Veidt story. Plus, it parallels much of what happens in the Watchmen world as the story progresses. And finally, Dr. Manhattan. The original Watchmen series ended with Dr. Manhattan deciding to go off and create life of his own. Now, during the story, after Veidt had framed him as the reason why several individuals who used to be close to him got cancer, as a means of getting him out of the way for his plan to succeed since he's, omnipotent, Manhattan decided to go to Mars. And apparently, that's where he went back to. Regina King's character states he's on Mars, and we see footage of him on a news channel on the planet, with a subheading scrolling at the bottom of the screen stating that water was found on Mars. Whether or not that ties to Manhattan, who knows. We also see the character in the trailer's Button, walking in a suit with his blue hand picking up a mask discarded on the street, that mask being made in his image, meaning Dr. Manhattan has returned to Earth, people. Alright, there we have it, friends. Are you excited for the Watchmen series? What did you spot in the trailer? Give us a shout in those comments below and let us know. If you dug this video, spread the love, hit that like button, and be sure to subscribe to Top 10 Nerd for more updates on the Watchmen series and San Diego Comic Con in general. In the meantime though, thanks for watching, friends. I'll catch you all in the next video.